this time around, right, when I apply, I'm also not applying based on job satisfaction or anything at all that I imagine is going to be a fit, wonderful environment for me to work in, because, you know, I feel as if the beggars can't be choosers. But there is a job opening that I saw on LinkedIn. It was LinkedIn, okay? I remember I said that I'm not going to go on LinkedIn because I feel like all these multiple job places where you can apply. Well, thank God I went and I reignited my old LinkedIn and I looked for a job over there, applied for a job over there. When I clicked on it and I read the job description, I was like, oh my goodness, my heart, it yearned so much for that job to be mine, or for me to, you know, be called in this ecosystem. It's a mix of project coordination and project management. It's like a combo. It's a junior role. It should not be. I'm not junior, but I recognize that at some point I gotta start somewhere, right? But there's a difference between being an administrator pushing paper and the other day I made a joke about ordering digestive biscuits for some dude who imagines that's all that you can do, or not pay for parking, but book parking. That's a junior job. That is a super entry-level job coming fresh out of a matric type establishment, a thing. But then there is also a difference between a junior secretary, for instance, or a junior project manager, or a junior product manager, or a junior, a junior is not always as junior can get, if you know what I mean. It's only junior in the sense that it's entry level for that particular professional track, but it is senior in comparison to or rather it's intermediate in comparison to where it is that a person would be in their career at all, right? So I was drawn to this job because of the fact that it's a combination of project coordination and project management, right? So essentially I would be running my own projects and enabling along a department in coordinating projects. The thing that drew me to that opportunity was the fact that it was within the marketing and brand environment. Retail, marketing, and brand. I've been wanting to get ahead. I told you guys, I did a video speaking before MTN when I was working close to marketing. I wanted to get into marketing, and I was more interested in insights and the side of marketing that was dealing with basically diagnostics and insights. I spoke about that, right? But in order for me to ultimately end up there, you got to start somewhere type setup thing. I was never able to pierce into marketing back then because, you know, I lost my career before I could do anything valuable with myself. Type establishment thing back then. Well, this job is within the brand, FMCG, pharmaceuticals, retail space within brand. This particular job is within FMCG, retail, FMCG brand in particular, and they were looking for a project manager for that marketing department / program not program coordinator, what do you call this, project coordinator. So somebody that would be doing both functionalities, reporting into, listen to this, right? I would not be reporting into a project manager. I would be reporting into a marketing manager. A marketing manager would be the tantamount of the person, the girl or the guy that is running an entire marketing department. They are running value propositions, they are running budget proposals, they are running insights, they're running the whole nine, like from the whole product life cycle, product management, business analysis of the whole marketing team. It's basically like the general manager or the senior manager. Not even senior, it's more at a general manager level over an entire marketing department. I would be reporting into that human being. So basically my responsibilities would be lofty. I would not necessarily be doing things at an administrative level serving middle management. I would be doing things at a middle management level serving upper middle management. And I was like, whoa, I want this. Why? Because it's a pierce into the marketing industry. It is going to enable me to ultimately walk into the space that I want to enter into. I told you guys about management consulting in my other videos, right? It's a whole long journey. You're gonna have to watch those videos to understand where I'm trying to get. It's the perfect foot in the door. I had a vision this afternoon of a door closing, right? And me putting my foot literally in the middle so that the door does not close completely. And my foot was just like standing over there. And the Lord was telling me, Hora, this is your foot in the door of the industry that you've always wanted. Remember I told you guys that long ago I asked God for the perfect career. And I just could not get into it because, you know, all these things happened in my life. At some point, not at some point, sorry, but I sought his face to enable me to work the kind of job that I wanted. but I didn't know how to get in there, type establishment thing, and I didn't want to have to start from scratch. Back then I was frazzled and befuddled by the prospect of starting from scratch. Well, this time around I'm content with taking a step back, whereas before I wasn't. And this here would be a step back in terms of job level, but not too many steps back. Plus I would be reporting, like I said, into the marketing manager. It's only a matter of time before I am one of his or her what do you call this, managers underneath, like underneath them, in over one of her departments. And hopefully where it is that I can infiltrate is where it is that I'm trying to go to. Insights, diagnostics, analytics. I will finally end up there. And the wonderful thing about it is that it is within the industries that I've always wanted to be in. I don't know how many times I tried to knock on the door of Tiger Brands back in the day and I couldn't get in. Coca-Cola. I've always wanted to work in food or retail. Food and retail, either FMCG or clothing, okay, type thing. Yeah, like, or pharmaceuticals, food retail, basically sale, like the commercial spaces where it is that deal with consumer marketing, right? Food, pharmaceuticals, and retail, so clothing, textiles, pharmaceuticals, and food. I've always wanted to work in any of those industries, like any of them. I just wanted a foot in the door, and I did not know how in the world to get in. I was only ever made to be stuck in telecommunications, banking, finance, all that jazz, but I wanted consumer marketing, client-facing type jobs, because I have a thing about people, okay? I have a people about insights, about addressing their needs, tapping into what they need, what they want, figuring out what to do for people. I have a thing about people, and this here job is within the retail / FMCG space. And I was like, I don't know which FMCGs they serve in particular, or retail for that matter, but it is a firm that recruits for the pharmaceuticals / retail / textiles industries. Yo, I was when I saw that job on LinkedIn, my heart melted. My heart what do you call this? My heart was sore. My heart burned. My heart was broken, because I was like, what if they don't call me? Because I would do anything to get my one foot in the door. I go in, I click on that job, I read the job responsibilities. It's aligned to all my skills. I have not only some experience in marketing, but also project management. So why wouldn't they call me? And then I explained, in a cover letter, etc., why I've been unemployed all this time. I go, I click on it. It redirects me to some site, okay? I hate being redirected to sites. Y'all know how much that sucks, right? When you're applying for a job, you've already put your CV and done all the time for hours on end to upload your profile on this website, and then next thing they move you over to another website where you have to put in the same details again. It's annoying. This one here was one of those where it is that you had to repopulate your CV on another site, and something told me, just do it, Karabo. Just do it, okay? So I repopulate my CV, really just kind of unsure if anybody's gonna get back to me, type thing. But I only repopulated like the first job, the job that I had at MTN, because before I went down and discovered that they had a term and condition that you had to click on there that said that I acknowledge that this application will also be received with a criminal check and a credit check. Now, I don't have a criminal record, but I certainly do have a bad credit record. I don't have a criminal record, but I certainly do have a horrible credit record, because I lost my job and I wasn't able to pay debts. I'm literally sitting on the credit bureau. So my heart got flattened. I was like, oh, they're gonna do a credit check, find me on the credit bureau and be like, why we can't, this woman. So I only filled in one of my experiences, the last job I ever worked, and I uploaded the whole CV though, because you know how they give you an option to upload CV, and then on top of that you still got to fill out their CV type thing. I did just one portion of it. My skills were already populated and whatnot, and even my education I only put in a little bit, like I didn't put in much, and then I just applied. I applied. I did not finish the whole form because I assume they're gonna do a credit check, but I was so excited for it. I even prayed. I was like, God, it would be so great if I got this job. It's the one I want. Like, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Please give it to me, only for me to see down below that, oh, they're gonna reject me for a credit check. So I just like apply. And then I went and I applied for other jobs throughout the day as it progressed, etc. In the night, while I'm busy doing my edits, I get an email coming through on my cell phone device. I check it, and lo and behold, they replied to me within an hour. I did not know that they replied within an hour because my phone was not attached to the Wi-Fi and my Gmail is not open on my PC. Okay, it's only open on my cell phone. I ended up opening it on my PC, type establishment thing. I need to go and pee, guys. Okay. Righto, so I'm good. I'm relieved. Not that you need to know all that extra information. Yeah. Yes, my Gmail. I was talking about how it is that my Gmail on my cell phone device is always open, but not so much on my PC, because on my PC I'm always uploading content and it is slow to death, like no man's business, that PC. So I can't have too many tabs open at any given time. So I rely on checking my emails on my cell phone device. But when I'm back in that shack, I'm so far from the Wi-Fi router in the house that sometimes I don't so that sometimes it does not quite catch from when I'm sitting on the bed type setup thing, and every so often it'll catch, and then I will suddenly get this flood of notifications from YouTube, or this flood of notifications from Facebook, flood of notifications from TikTok, etc. That's when I know that my Wi-Fi is caught on my cell phone, in which case I then quickly check my emails. All right, well, last night Wi-Fi did not catch until like 3 a.m. in the morning. It was just all dead the whole entire time. I didn't expect anybody to respond to me within like an hour of sending a job application. I expected that if they're going to respond, they're going to respond maybe after 24 hours, largely ignore me, perhaps maybe next week Monday, because it's Friday today. Yesterday was Thursday when I was busy applying, so they're probably going to get back to me if at all. So far ain't nobody out there responding to me. Nobody cares. And it's funny because I told this cousin that because she's the one that I told you guys that she wrote me a WhatsApp and was like, yeah, they liked you at the interview, we're going to discuss that, but maybe you should consider not uploading certain stuff, wait until the dotted line is signed, wada type establishment thing. And I'm like, nobody's going to tell me what to upload on my YouTube. That's a completely different area of interest. Like, I feel infringed upon, no, stop. Not in so many words, but I just made it clear that you don't get to tell me what to do on YouTube, okay? Yeah, well, her reaction was to basically just kind of ghost me and rescind the offer without even telling me. But then I had also told her over a voice note that this whole thing of you trying to get me a job has also inspired me to look for another job that is more fit or aligned to my skills, my gifts and my talents, instead of me, sort of kind of taking the one that you, thank God, are trying to offer me type thing. I was trying to be as cordial as I possibly can, but bottom line is I have these skills, and it would be great if I could perhaps maybe get employed in a more fit for purpose industry, more aligned to what it is that I prefer to be in, and also aligned to my skills, like this, something that's not as junior as what you're trying to put me in. I essentially made it clear to her that I am going to be feverishly applying for jobs, even if at all I end up working for you, and I might not last where it is that you are putting me, because I realized that if you could be prepared to hear me and see me, maybe somebody else out there is, okay? Instead of getting back to me on some sorry, no, job offer not accepted, let a person know, for crying out loud. Rescinding, sorry, did not successfully interview, especially considering you are the one. You offered me this thing, I didn't ask for it. I did a video the other day where I was lamenting about how it is that ghosting, fine, do you, okay? But I did say that it would be great if I were to be placed somewhere, maybe like marketing, something that's more aligned to my creativity, the industry that I want to belong to, alongside my skills set, something more aligned. Yeah, this individual then makes a decision to ghost the living daylights out of me, but I had made it clear that I am going to be applying, right? Type thing. That's the thing. When you've been sitting around for in my particular case, it's been a decade. When you've been sitting around waiting for answered prayer for all that long, sometimes your enemies will think that you are a joke, to think that anybody's gonna listen to you. I said, when I was talking to her, got voice note that I'm gonna apply and I'm gonna apply and I'm gonna apply, but hey, nobody listens to me, nobody watches my content, and on top of that, that's on YouTube. When I was telling her, nobody listens to me anyway, so ain't nobody need to be worried about what I put online. Not that I owe you any excuse or any reason, but no one listens to me anyway. But also over and above it, when I apply for jobs, no one calls me. I've been doing it for years. I've been applying and applying and applying to no avail. Chances are nobody's gonna call me, so also rest assured, chances I'll end up working for you for months on end with nothing giving concerning my CV. And in terms of what you imagine is a concern that I've uploaded on YouTube, nobody watches me except for like these horrific eyes, people that are out here thoroughly trying to wreak havoc in my life. So Papa, relax, bloma, umuntu wanghosta, wangitshela ukuthi she'll get back to me, nothing, watula, fine, whatever. It is leaning on the fact that 10 years has come and gone and nobody's called me. for jobs that that have been appropriate for me. 10 years have come and gone. I have not gotten the right job. 10 years have come and gone. Even my YouTube channel is going nowhere. That's the thing. They lean on the fact that fit that 10 years, 20 years, 15, 7, 5, however long you've been waiting for as a child of the living God, and they think that nothing is coming. They think that no one is coming. They think that because 10 years have progressed, another 10 is going to come and go. Another 10 is going to come and go. So they lean on the fact that kuthulile. But they don't know that at the time when they're taking that for granted, the circumstance, that's when God is helping you along. So the humiliation that is facing your enemies, body of Christ, is the fact that at the cusp of your breakthrough, they will have been at the height of their insanity, and they will have done something beforehand to spite you. They will have done something to spite you, trusting that you're going to be sitting at home still gathering dust a year later, 2 years later, 3 years later. They will mock you, trusting that this is not going to give. And then it gives. Here it is, that ever since that conversation, it's been like 2.5 weeks since I spoke to her. I told her that I'll let her know if a job interview comes through, but that was only based on whether or on her own deadline date as to when she'll get back to me. She literally said she's going to wait 2 weeks all the way up until the 1st of September. Now it's way past the 1st of September, so I don't owe her an explanation. I don't owe her, oh, by the way, I got a job, because she's made it clear that I don't care that you have one or not, I'm not giving you one. She's already made it clear by simply just ghosting me. Yeah, very well. Okay, so I don't need to let her know, but what she will do is find out nonetheless. How? Because I'm being surveilled. I'm being watched, I get on YouTube. I'm being followed by people that are out here in broad daylight, thoroughly humiliating themselves by being overtly jealous in a way that is embarrassing. Because what are you gonna say? Cousin, now that Karabo has gotten a job anyway, even though you ghosted her, you offer a woman that's been suffering for 10 years a job, and then you just ghost her? And then she gets one anyway. I'm sorry, you have burned a bridge. You have destroyed a relationship. You have made yourself look so dumb that you can never look me in the face ever again. You will never be able to keep a straight face again. You've just made yourself like the rest of my enemies that have had it in for me so dirty and so bad that they in my face display that they don't want me to be okay in life. And they have all trusted in the fact that I'm not going to get out of this. But then I do. Here it is, that 2 weeks later, 2.5 weeks from that date, after I had given up, but then I went back to apply again because God told me, Hamba, you apply, don't just sit at Jardin. I applied for this job that I just explained right now, within the marketing space, within FMCG, retail, textiles, etc. I apply for it because I like the industry. I like what I'm going to be doing. If at all I get to do it, but I have no hope. I have no faith that they're going to call me. I'm just applying because that job. I wish they would call me. All the other jobs that I've been applying for, I'm just applying because I want a job. I want a job. That's it. All the rest of them that I'm applying for, I'm applying because I need a job, I need a salary. I'm sick and tired of being harassed by filthy men. I'm exhausted with the whole disrepute narrative and my name being reviled, dragged through the mud, and me being bullied by people and me being dictated to what I need to do with my life. I'm tired of that. So basically a salary, a job, some kind of financial stability is going to make it easier for me to have to endure all the insanity of my enemies. All the insanity of my enemies is going to be eradicated if I get a job. That's why I'm out here working tooth and nail to get a job. Okay, but I'm not pedantic as to the color of the job, the nuances of it, the edges, if they're laying flat, whether or not it's wearing a pink top, whether or not it's wearing heels or pumps. I don't care about the look and feel. I'm just interested in it at all. I just want to work. Like literally returning to the good old-fashioned days of working a rote, mundane, boring, no-brainer job that you can't stand, but hey, it pays the bills. Just going through the modes, all these people on the planet working 9 to 5 just to stay alive, working 9 to 5 just to stay alive. You know how Beyonce sings that song? Just working 9 to 5 to stay alive, working 9 to 5 to avoid licentious, rape-fueled men, working 9 to 5 just to get out from harassment by bad girls, working a 9 to 5 just to escape while members of the occult, just to stay alive. I'm out here being a person on the planet, working 9 to 5 just to stay. I've done my time in those dangaris and those orange, those prison rolls, dangaris, those prison dangaris, those prison overalls. I've worn them. I've worn orange. I've worn stripes, the zebra. I've worn blue, whatever might be the prison attire. I've worn it. Y'all know the prison job, right? The prison job where you just walk up and Jefela to collect a paycheck at the end of every single month. Everything. Alarm. You bash it with your fist. It's a hammer. When it wakes you up in the morning, you literally just stand under the shower and Jefela for 15 minutes before you actually start to bath. The way you have to go there. Your car, when you get in there, it's a yawn, it's a drag, and then you gotta idle in traffic for all of those like minutes on the N1 highway, bumper to bumper, and then coffee sing morning, hi, morning, coffee shop as you are queuing. Just to go and get coffee or sandwich, and then you sit at your desk and you just look at your emails and you look at your day ahead, and it's just a drag. You keep looking at the watch or the 5 and then at the end of the day you also drag your body out of the office into the car, yet again bumper to bumper traffic, and when you get home you plonk on your bed with your face dug in your pillowcase, only for you to wake up and force yourself to make dinner because you can't eat takeout every single night. I've been through those orange overalls. I've worn those silver overalls. I've worn those pedestrian crossing zebra overalls, the black and white. Like proper. I have worked a prison job. I have worked prison jobs. I have worked prison jobs for most of my career were prison jobs. The job at MTN, the last one that I had, at the end of it, I was in. Ironically, the job that I lost, the last job that cost me so much envy that I became Daniel in the lion's den, I was actually quite satisfied in it. But even as a project manager, I was somewhat of a prisoner, but not nearly as much of a prisoner as I was when I was in the call centers, especially the call centers. When I was a program coordinator at MTN, I was an orange, okay, and it was not the new black. I was out here wearing dangaris, overalls, to work, just going through the modes because I had to pay a car, going through the modes because I had to pay my fees, going through the modes because I'm en route somewhere else. This is a means to an end. One day in the future I'll have job satisfaction, I promise, but for now I'm in the sun and it's sultry and there's a mirage in this desert and it looks like a glass of water in the near distance, and then only to happen upon it and realize it's a rock. Aguna manzi, it's dry. Danyani. Y'all know that Danyani job. I was prepared to go back to Danyani. Even though I prayed to the Lord to get me out of Danyani. I did not want to wear orange as the new black. I did not want to wear stripes. I did not want that. And I saw the Lord's face long ago. But I've been unemployed for 10 years. You don't get to choose. I've been applying to be an inmate on social media. Not social media, what do you call this? On my social media. If I had a YouTube channel, that would be the perfect job, frankly. That was monetized, but I can't do that because I'm blocked, I'm shadow banned. The global elites don't want anything to do with my voice, so I'm never ever gonna have freedom on YouTube, right? Whatever. But it is possible for me to work in corporate and be happy and have job satisfaction. I have communicated that to you before as to what would have been the ideal job for me, right? But when am I ever gonna get it after 10 years of being dry in my curriculum vitae, of there being nothing going on in my life, in light of the corporate space? That gives me even an iota of job satisfaction, even an inkling, just a pinch of job satisfaction. That's not coming. It's not coming. I'm also going to bash like a hammer my alarm yet again and drag my body through the day, through traffic, through everything, and just merely exist and then go back home and then dig my face into a pillow at the end of the day. Yeah, only to force myself to cook dinner because, like I said, can't eat takeaway every single night. So over and above having had a really rough day, because that's just the nature of these 9-to-5 jobs, right? Yeah, I was applying for prison. I was applying for to become an inmate. Yeah, I was applying to become an inmate like many of y'all. Yeah, I was applying to become an inmate like proper. Apply. And then when I applied to become an inmate, guys, my heart bleeds because I'm like, but I should not be doing this like proper. There comes a time in a person's career when they stop being inmates because they finally have broken through into the place where they want to be. Why am I still an inmate? Yeah, God blocked it. I was gonna be an inmate working for that cousin of mine, and God blocked it. And I was going to be an inmate working any other of these jobs that I've been applying for online for the sake of it, so you can understand how much God really rewards you and he will remember all of your benefits. Yeah, I was going to be an inmate. Do you understand? But then there came a job online advertised that smashed a lot of my skills, where it looked as if though I'm very potentially I'm not going to be an inmate. So this time around I was applying for a job that I really wanted. I really wanted it. This one, when I was reading the description, I was like, oh my goodness, I'd be happy here. I'd have job satisfaction. It would not matter what they're paying me. Chances are it's not nearly as much as what it is that I used to earn before, but it's about job satisfaction. I've told you guys before about a job that I used to have back in the day where I was a claims consultant for Telesure. It was an entry-level job. I was at the call center. I was a claims consultant and I loved it. So even though the salary was low, I had job satisfaction because it was just it was appealing to my interest, to my heart. Yeah. Money is not a motivator. I can't say that enough. This year, I don't even know what the salary is for this job. There was no range, okay, communicated, but all I know is that it's a mix of project coordination and project management. So it cannot be lower than a certain amount type establishment thing. Yeah, it's a junior position, an entry level position for that kind of job. You can't really truly be junior in the sense of just merely scraping through in a career. If you're a project manager, you're just junior in project management. Okay, yeah. That's what this job is, even though I'm not junior at all, but I've had a 10-year gap in my CV, so I gotta start somewhere. Type establishment thing, and for the first time I read the core competencies, the key KPIs of this job, and I'm like, whoa, this I'm gonna soar. I'm gonna be happy, Lana. I am going to be happy. This is going to give, okay? This is going to give. Type establishment thing. I apply for it, and then I see down below that they're gonna do a credit check and probably like toss me. I don't finish the whole application. I'm like, oh, I guess I need to just keep on applying for prison, right? I need to keep on applying to be an inmate in Samtanyane. I leave it alone. They responded within an hour, but I did not get it within an hour. I only got it at 3 a.m. in the morning, their response, okay? Because that's when the Wi-Fi caught. And I started getting a flood of notifications from social media, following which I then went to Gmail and I checked my emails to see if anything came through. And I had 2 emails from that company, all right, from that place for having applied for that position. The first email that came through said, please complete your CV, right? The first one that came through said, please complete the information on your CV. Chance, I attached my, what do you call this? My actual PDF CV that I attached, but I did not finish filling out their forms. I only put in a portion of my experience. I also did not put in my qualifications, the documentation that they need, because I was like, what's the point? But I'm just gonna apply just in case. I sent the application and I was actually thinking of just letting it go when I saw the credit check, but I was like, just apply. It's not gonna hurt. Just throw it in the wilderness. Cast your bread upon many waters, and after cast your bread upon the waters, and after many days it'll come back to you. I cast my bread upon the waters. I applied, and within an hour, the first lady responds on some, please finish your CV. Please complete the forms on our site, right? I of course would have immediately responded to that if I'd seen it immediately, but of course it would be hours before. And then about 45 minutes later, I then get an email from what I would imagine is like an administrator from there, that probably this lady was like, please follow up with this candidate. I've already told her to fill out her CV. I've already told her to complete the form, but she's not getting back to me. So please follow up. And so I get another email from the same company, but a different lady, right? And this lady is like, we are interested in your application. Kindly finish filling up the CV on the portal, and also please do these assessments because you've been shortlisted for at least that you have been shortlisted for assessments type thing, like, you know, numeracy, literacy, what do you call this, like thought process and what have you. But first you got to finish your CV and then only do these. It was when I saw these 2 emails from these 2 ladies, I was like, whoa. They responded. Somebody responded. I said, like, it was not an automatic email generated response on some, we have received your application, we will deeply consider it, consider yourself unsuccessful if after 3 days we haven't replied, or we will see what we do. No, it wasn't an auto generated email. It was from these people that work there. And the first one was telling me, please finish your CV. Didn't respond on time. The second was, fill out these assessments, but also please finish your CV. Yo guys, at 3 a.m. that's when I see these responses, right? Chances are they responded to me based on my attached CV. So the information on their website was insufficient, but they probably opened my PDF CV, saw it, and then were like, we'll take it. We'll take it. Well, like, yeah, contact this chick. We want to see her. When I saw that those responses, like, I jumped. I was busy uploading content. I was listening to something by James Caddis on YouTube. I was listening to like some stuff that I think it was either James Caddis and Tom Hughes or Ellie Beth Stuckey talking about some mass shooting in the US and whatnot. Basically, I was listening to stuff on YouTube. Okay, when I jumped, I paused everything. And I was like, somebody responded. And as soon as I jumped up out of bed, God said, Liberty Life. He welled it up in my bones and said, Liberty Life. Like the Holy Spirit said, Liberty Life. I immediately knew what he was saying. Liberty Life is the one job or one organization that contacted me, responded to me when nobody else did back in the day. And it, from the very beginning of them responding to my application all the way to the end, worked out. It worked out. I got the job, even though it was the only one that interviewed me. I wanted more options. I wanted to have options on my plate. I didn't have many options, just that one. And I was panicked because nobody else was calling me. Nothing else was happening, but it gave. It became the one thing that broke me out of a grain of poverty that was threatening to keep me in the gasi for the rest of my days looking like a loser. Liberty Life was my life buoy and my olive branch back in the day. And God said that this here job is Liberty Life. Literally, he said, he welled it up. He bubbled it in my spirit. When I jumped up and saw these emails, he said, Liberty Life. I was like, Hiyo, Nyempel, are you telling me that this is my job? And when I went and I read when I went back into their website, I realized, because I had applied for so many opportunities throughout the day. I realized that it was the one that I half-heartedly did. However, it was the one that I wanted desperately, the one that I clicked on in LinkedIn, and then it redirected me. I was like, this is the one that I wanted. This is the one that I wanted. This is the one that I wanted. But then I gave up because they said they're going to do a credit check and forget about me. Yo, guys, it was 3. I was getting about ready to lie down because I'm on my period. I've got these pains. I've got a little bit of a headache. I'm under demonic attack. I was like, nyolala mina gunini nyolala korobal. I am going to sleep early. It's early. 3 a.m. for me is early. Sometimes I can be awake until 5, 6 a.m. Right? But when I saw that Hashem energy Katsoha, I came back Katsoha. I was like, I don't care how long it takes for me to finish uploading the CV on the machine, and I also don't care how long it takes for me to do these assessments before Gerobal. I'm not about to go and drag my feet down his bicycle. It's like I had one foot in the door. I was not about to let that opportunity slide right over my head. So what did I do? I sat up. Do you understand? What did I do? I sat up. I sat up and I filled out the application online. Not the application, what do you call this? The CV go fair. Like I filled it to 100%. I uploaded all of my forms, my documentation. So that's the first thing that I did. I finished the application process that I did not first do. And I was like, God, if this is Liberty Life, it means that you're going to cause them to forget about the fact that my credit rating is shocking. It's horrific. And indeed, they ought to forget about it because it's the Labor Relations Act. No longer can you discriminate against a person based on their credit rating, because how are they going to pay off their debts if you don't give them a job? Like, that's a thing. It's been a law for a minute, but some companies check for it anyway, especially the financial services industry, for understandable reasons. But this is not the financial services industry. Like I told you, it's FMCG. So leave me alone. Okay, just give me a job so that I can fix my credit situation. Plus, I've been unemployed for 10 years. Please understand. I trust that the Lord is going to soften their hearts concerning that. It's not like I come from prison. I don't have a criminal record, but I certainly do have a credit record. Okay, yeah, type establishment thing. Cool beans and bananas. My battery is busy getting depleted here, even though I've got a power bank on. So the sooner I get this message out there, the better. Yeah, that's what's good. So I tell myself that if God has told me this is Liberty Life, it means they are gonna at some point eventually ignore that I'm on the credit bureau. They're gonna ignore it. They're gonna give me a chance anyway. They're gonna love me like a fat kid loves cake and totally give me a shot, even though I'm on the credit bureau. And my mom also once got a job, and that was even before the Labor Relations Act adjusted the law. Okay, they gave her a job even though she was on the credit bureau because the people who interviewed her liked her so much and they understood that. But like, how is anybody supposed to fix their credit rate situation and pay off their debt when they don't have a job? So they gave her a job in spite of her credit record, but all along she had been struggling to get a job because of it. Like, she would apply, they would interview her, and the credit check would come back and they would be like, sorry ma'am. But the one company, if anything, it was the very company that she ended up working for eventually forever. whatever into the future, Kijima. She stayed there for like the rest of her career. Type establishment thing, they gave her a chance in spite of a bad credit check. So looks like I guess I'm following in my mom's footsteps, like the exact same things that she went through, I'm going through them, like generational curses, like proper, you will know, okay, type thing. Anyway, whatever. Type establishment thing, very well, cool, and very beans and an entire bananas. I sit up straight in bed, I fill out the rest, right, and then I start to do the assessments from 3 a.m. Yo guys, like this lady is like, they're gonna take you an hour to do in total. And I'm thinking, okay, an hour is nothing. They didn't take me an hour. Hour schmawa. They did not take me an hour. The first one was a literacy assessment. The first one was a literacy assessment, like grammar and all that jazz. That was quick, okay? I was able to go through that one quickly. And then the second one was a numeracy one. I also went through it relatively quickly, but not as quickly as the literacy one, because it involved calculations and everything. I even went to go and take out a calculator, but like my financial calculator, Yakovit's Israel, haina electricity. I should have known better. It's been sitting more topong for like years, so I had to use the one on the computer. Yeah, the literacy one and the numeracy one went swimmingly, right? The last one, it was thought what Dishi pinja fella clubs and hearts, queens, basically the shapes that you find on cards, like playing cards. You just have to like go and figure all that out so they can figure out your thought process and how that works. The first couple were okay. The rest of them, because I was as tired as I was and my brain was essentially unraveling like thread. But it took me so long to find the patterns. I sat inside that one assessment, one, for like an hour and a half. I don't even know if they're gonna like mark me down on that, but there was no time. What do you call this? Calculate. There was no time limit. You could do it for however long you want to, but it took me like an hour and a half just to do that one. And by the time I went to bed at like 8:30 in the morning, I was so zonked and out of it and feeling so sad, because why did this thing take me so long? Why am I not able to figure out basic things like patterns? But the reason why I was struggling with that assessment was because of the fact that I was tired, right? And I was pushing through it anyway, because hey guys, my one foot in the door, I'm not about to let it go. I'm not gonna rest over 24 hours and then wait to do the assessment only later. I need a job. So I wrote it out. I did it and I finished it. I can't already tell you how well I did or lack thereof. I'm still waiting for a response. I eventually slept like 8:30 in the morning, and when I woke up there was no response. Why would there be? I had just finished the assessment, right? Angazi. But my heart was sad on some, but because in the email they said that they're gonna get back to me. They said that they're going to get back to me shortly after I do those assessments. They didn't. By before 8 a.m. in the morning, right? I had already published and given them the assessments. I was expecting them to call me or wake up to an email, and it was just dead. It was quiet. And I was like, oh, it's not going to give. Plus, I had a whole plethora of nightmares essentially threatening me that I'm not going to get the job. So I was just basically dragging my body through the mud on some I did an assessment for half an hour, for like 2.5 hours. What's the exam for mahala online, hoping to get a job, only for nothing to give. I wrote an exam. I really wanted that job, but if it doesn't come through, I'm gonna be very sad. But it's okay. At least there was a hint, or at least people are willing to listen to me. At least there are some companies that are prepared to call me, even though there's a 10-year gap in my CV. I've proven a concept. I just need to keep pushing and striving. However, as I've been walking through these streets, walking up and down all the day long, God has been saying perpetually on a loop without ceasing, liberty life. Throughout the time when I was doing the assessment, he was giving me images, flash visions in my mind of the day when we went to Liberty Life to do the whole thing. Go Liberty, we went on site, right, to do psychometric, to do numeracy, and to do shapes like spatial reasoning. That's the one thought, right, where they put like shapes there to see how you reason spatially type thing. We did that over an entire day. over a day. Why did they say that it's going to take an hour? Anyway, whatever. It was like over an entire day. We did various exercises in groups, and then sometimes as individuals, and then we went home, and then a week later, 2.5 whatever weeks later, they then let us know, you've been shortlisted, Karabo, what a fish paste, etc. During the time when I was doing those tests online, the Lord kept on reverberating the flash vision of Liberty Life during the day, on the day when we went to go and do the tests. Yeah, it's a psychometric and whatnot. Over and over. He's basically telling me, Karabo, uskathaba. Ke Friday, Kajeko, they didn't call me, right? It's quiet. But the Lord was like basically confirming to me last night that even though all the other jobs that you applied for are not responding to you, don't faint in your heart, because this is it. This is it. I have not gotten more confirmation about anything in this entire time, but other than this time around. Like, the confirmation is so yawny, it's so loud, it's so ostentatious, it's so glaring. Like, the flash, like the gaga hazards just going in my ear are so voluminous concerning this particular job opportunity that I was tempted to just sit on it and wait for them to call me on Monday or Tuesday next week. It's Friday right now, so it's gonna be quiet for 2 days. Monday or Tuesday or whatever, or whenever it is that they get back to me, only then to share the story. But you see, we walk by faith and not by sight. I am here to let you guys know. That's why that's why I sang, and I'm so happy. I don't have a job yet. I haven't gone for an interview. I haven't even been called in for either an online interview or a face-to-face interview or whatever. And yet, I have been told by Jesus Christ of Nazareth that that is my job. I have a job. I might not yet have been called, but that's it. I am going to be working as a project coordinator / project manager. I am going to be working as a project coordinator / project manager for a brand team, some within marketing. Let's just say within marketing, servicing retail industries, FMCG and retail. That is within textiles, and say FMCG and retail, pharmaceuticals too. Yes, I did make mention of pharmaceuticals. That's what this firm basically is servicing. And the Lord has made it clear that they're gonna have no regard at all, or at least they're going to shove it to the side for the fact that I do not, my credit rating is as horrific as it is. My credit record is giving cadaver and RIP as it is. This is my one shot. Look, I'm not going to stop applying because I'm scared all around. Plus, faith, Thomas? I'm like doubting Thomas at this particular juncture. I'm doubtful. And so because I'm doubtful, I'm going to keep applying so that I can, hedge, not put all my eggs in one basket. But this is my job, and I don't know when I'm gonna start working, but I'm gonna start working it. So the very thing that I did in communicating to you guys after my cousin allegedly apparently gave me a job, that even before signing on the dotted line it was a done deal, because she told me that it was a done deal. Yeah, this time around I'm doing that exact same thing, basically the same thing that my cousin called a mistake. Don't tell people before you write on the dotted line. Wait until you get the job first, type thing. Yeah, to basically say that if at all the Lord has spoken, you get to prophesy in advance, and when it comes to pass, then you're not to be feared. You are to be feared, because then on that day you display that you are a true prophet type establishment thing. You get to speak in advance that the glory of God may be realized, that the glory of God may be respected and adored and kissed when it comes to pass. The Lord told me, I've gotten it. I am the candidate that has successfully interviewed for that in advance. Has He given me that job? Enough for me to rock up here and say, I got a job. I have not yet been interviewed. Nobody has promised me that job, unlike with my cousin who rescinded it later. No one has promised it to me. No one has even called me for an interview. No one has agreed. Presently, there are multiple candidates vying for the same job. They are all writing online assessments, and some of them going to get called for an interview, be it remotely, virtually, or on site at the premises where it is that they have a company running. However, I'm going to be the one to get that job. It's one opening. They're not looking for many people. It's one opening. And according to Jesus Christ, it's mine. That is the job that God has set apart for me to reignite my career in. And it is within the field that I asked Him to move me into back in the day. And I am coming here by faith to let you guys know that I got a job. I got work. I got work to do. I got a job, baby. I got a job. And it's funny because on the day after writing the psychometric test, right? Remember I told you guys that I need to get a job quickly before my mom acts a fool on me. Yeah. After writing those tests online, She asked me only today, what happened with that opportunity with the cousin lady? I was like, rest assured, I'm looking for something else. My banking was to test it online. She was like, no, as long as you're looking for something else, you're cool. In other words, I have stayed my mom's irritation, anger, and vibrancy of affliction by just letting her know, relax, Bloma, something else could come. Know and understand that when, not so much if, when I get this job, not only am I going to be more fitly placed in terms of my skills, I'm practically a project manager again, all right, in this job, but the money is going to be way more. It cannot not be, because this is not an admin job. It is a coordination job. It's a monitoring and control job. It is a overseeing job. It is a project management job, just within a junior role. So there's no way that I'm going, like the money that they were going to give me, but I'm not going to tell you what it is, because then you're going to be able to more or less gauge what I'm going to be earning. Ain't nobody need to know any such information as that. I'm not about to share it, but bottom line is I'm probably going to be getting on top of the money that my cousin was willing to give me, probably an additional 10 to 15,000 rands. I'm probably going to get an additional 10 to 15,000 rands on top of the original. So basically a lot more than what she was trying to give me, and more fit for purpose with, of course, job satisfaction guaranteed. Job satisfaction. And as for when I start working, I don't know. But that's what God did for me. Here it is, that somebody pulled the rug from underneath my feet. Somebody gave me something and then took it away, and then trusted that nobody's going to come through for me, only for them to get humiliated a mere 2 weeks to a month later, where it is that I get a job interview for a more fit for purpose job, and somebody that is a complete stranger that don't know me from a bar of soap makes a decision to give me a job that is aligned to my skills, showing just what the wicked are prepared to do to derail you. They are prepared to make you settle in the season of your self-doubt, such that you will literally take half a salary than what it is that you would have taken if you had just waited on God 5 more minutes. If you had just trusted the Lord, you would have entered into something so much better. God knows where you're supposed to be and what you can do. And there are people out here in these streets that are prepared to acknowledge you for the skills that you have. But there will be others that will be trying to put you in your place. By making you work some silly admin job despite being extremely skilled. They will try to put you in your place by refusing to acknowledge something worth the while for them to take in their stride, because they're actively trying to handle you when you don't need handling. They're actively trying to make you get over yourself when there is no such getting over yourself that you need to do. When I started recording this video, I spoke about how it is that the wicked as a keeper, like it's wapi, they expose themselves. When you're so jealous of a person that you will outwardly sabotage them to a point of ghosting them after offering them a job, like that kind of stuff. This cousin is not the only one that's done this kind of stuff to me. It's a plethora of other people on the left and on the right of me who have in broad daylight literally displayed a jealousy that is so heinous that it is observable by all, and yet had no care that people see. Why? Because they trust you're not going to be okay, and then you become okay. I don't know when I'm going to get this job, do you understand? Bottom line is I'm getting it, and I will only ever keep on coming to confirm what it is that I'm saying, that's my job. Guys, they called me for an interview. I will come and I will report it. Guys, they called me for a second interview. I will then report it. Guys, I'm starting on the 1st of October. Then you're gonna know that God has always had my back. And those that tried to humiliate me by taking away a job I didn't even want in the first place will rather be the ones that are in and of themselves humiliated. The wicked always speaks too soon. Like Penina, they always mock Hannah too soon. They always speak too fast. And I am trying to disenfranchise or disincentivize the wicked from carrying on in this fashion. Like, stop envying so horrifically that you will put yourself in a position to in the future be humiliated. Stop embarrassing yourselves, guys. Like, when God comes through for your victims, and the sad thing about witchcraft is that because you think it's this means of controlling everything and everyone on the left and on the right of you, that no one can catch you even upon doing it, you feel as if though insofar as you can just keep on recasting spells on people, you can keep on remocking them, just mocking and mocking and mocking, until one day God gives them breakthrough and you will wonder, but why have my spells not worked? Your spells never worked. It's just that for a season, your victim was being tested by God. But then when they get out of the test, they're in breakthrough. And their breakthrough is going to be obvious to you and everyone around. But it is also going to come at the humiliation of those who literally sat back and said, let's see what God does for you. And then God gives them a job. ntse ke le busy ke qala ko morao ke ntse ke order digestive biscuit for batho ba sang appreciating. I was going to have my enemies look at me on some who did you think you are? Except I never ever was trying to gloat. I was always trying to reach them for Christ. But when a person is jealous, they don't see things that way. They do not see things that way. All they see is somebody gloating all their goodness. They can't stand godliness. So in concluding this message, in sealing it, because now I'm thoroughly sitting on 4% battery power, and it's running out real fast and furious. So I'm gonna close this message very soon. What I'm trying to get at right now is, do not be scared of the wicked when they mock and jeer at you. Do not also be scared when there's a tumbleweed rolling around, when you keep on applying for jobs or whatever might be the thing you're seeking the Lord's face for. Do not be scared. All that is needed for you to be okay is the one opportunity, and all that is needed for you to be okay is the one opportunity, yes, but also your trust in the fact that there's no way that God has forsaken you. In the run-up to, you will be mocked, you will be jeered, and people are going to diss you in observably sabotagey ways. Like, it's going to be obvious that lo muntu uqwele ngesabotage unomona, and it's going to hurt during the season of you not yet having what you want. But literally in like 2 seconds from the date of their mocking of you, you will suddenly walk in breakthrough. A more skills appropriate job will be awarded you. You may have, like me, a rusted general disposition apparently, with a 10-year gap in your CV, with nobody out here calling you, because I mean, who calls a person who hasn't been employed for 10 years? Someone that God has set apart from eternity past to call you at the opportune time. But as for the wicked, as for the jealous, as for the ridiculous, this is what I have got to say to you, ridiculous men and women. It can't be easy to perpetually keep on getting humiliated like this. I hope that this is a strong lesson, that God is not so much intending to embarrass you as he is trying to rescue you, but you will meet with embarrassment when you try to disprove God by humiliating his saint. God will rather prepare her or his table in front of you, and you will be embarrassed by, like, the whole of the planet is going to look at you on some, how in the world are you such a saboteur? Obvious gangaga girl, right in front of Tina Sonke. We are watching you like it's an OTV. Only busy or sabotage Karabo. You will never recover from that. So those of you who have jealousies in your hearts, we all have them. I am encouraging you to not act on them. Exercise self-control, seek the Lord's face, wear Holy Spirit protection, that you might put to death the deeds of the body, so that you will not, in the climate of the person that you envy's season of sorrow, literally, outwardly sabotage them in ways that are observable, only for you to be embarrassed later. Don't let yourselves be uhlazologu. Don't let yourselves be the thing straightla on the side of the street. Do not let yourselves be the person that everybody's wagging their heads at on some, hey, I know, brave girl, and like, you don't want people saying you're shameless. You don't want people looking at you like you're shameless, slapping you with, because this world will judge the living daylights out of you. They will scan you up and down on some umonongaga, sure, because you will have been so obvious. You will have been so obvious to pull the rug from underneath a person's feet, such that again. This cousin is not going to be able to come to my mom's yard again without having to wear some hard knock, concealing, thieving paraphernalia. She would have to wear, like, a ballet lava, cover the face with a ballet lava or something. Only then can she walk mojarateng. Like my cousin, the one that's my former best friend, she can't easily come mojarateng because of her broad daylight jealousy that caused her to sabotage me in a way that is observable. So this one has basically joined that camp. She has now joined the camp of people but that struggled to come to my mom's house and look my mom in the eye, and also me and anyone else that lives in mojarateng, because of the fact that they were backstabbers, mahareng a mall, like kostrating, like koskontiring, down the road, mopela yield sign, kostrating, backstabbing. Yeah, you put yourself in a position to not be able to show your face anymore around some people. What is the point of all that? I'm calling everybody to repentance, okay? Including those who sabotaged me in this fashion. I'm about to walk into a job any minute now. Whether or not you want to believe it, bottom line, okay, my content is behind by several weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. So by the time I share this video, chances are I'll already be working. Okay, chances I'll already be working. I even said that there's certain videos I'm not going to allow myself to put online unless I'm employed. So this video is only going to go up once I'm employed, and the videos in the future are going to confirm that I got the job that I said God was giving me. But even if I had shared this video in advance, bottom line is to go out of your way to bewitch a person to make sure that the promises of God don't land in their lives is to put yourself in harm's way, is to put yourself in hot water, is to put yourself in humiliation's track, and is to make yourself look really nasty. It's not worth it. It is not worth it. You guys, you can either choose to believe me or not, but I've lived my life in front of you for the very purpose of showing that God has never really ever dropped the ball, never can. And if you have walked away from him, it's because you were impatient. You were impatient. I'm looking forward to starting my new job. I am not looking forward, however, to waiting for the phone call or the email or the whatever might come, because that's going to cause me anxiety. It's going to cause me a severity of anxiety. My prayer is that it happens faster rather than slower. And once I do finally get into this job, I will only at that stage be truly set free from evil men and imposters who wax worse, deceiving and being deceived. Only at that stage will I ever really truly be set free from licentious men. The thing that is the bane of my existence is still a threat. Only then will I ever really truly free from the risk of suicide, because it keeps on pursuing me. The death spells that come will be ineffective as at that date. So the sooner this day comes, the better. I am officially going to be free from incarceration. But like I said, in the run-up to, the risks are still going to be there. The spells, the force, the coercion, yeah, that's still going to be happening. But hold on, guys. My prayer is that if you're in your season of testing and you're listening to my testimony, don't you ever give up, because the devil's voice is not more powerful than God's, but it can be clamorous and loud in a way that God's voice is not. The Lord speaks to you in a still, quiet, tranquil, God, transcendent voice of many waters type voice, while the devil speaks to you arasa ka di katara le di drums and all different kinds of showy orchestra like tap dancing shoes and guitars. That's how the devil speaks. So you will be scared. You will listen to your unemployment, you will listen to your singlehood, you will listen to a mistreatment, you will listen to sabotage, backstabbing, betrayal, jealousy that people are using to try and put you in your place when you don't need to be put in your place. You will listen to that far more easier than God. But remember, the Bible says that we must demolish arguments and every lofty pretension that exalts itself above the Most High, and hold into captivity every thought to the obedience of Jesus Christ. You must always conquer the devil's noisy people and the devil's voices and his demons with the word of God. Then you will relax and talk sense into yourself. Do a YouTube video like me. Comfort your heart so that you can at least get through the day. Pass the day with God's word. Pass the day with God's word while you wait, so that you will not faint. Okay? Because the devil is a liar, guys. But he's a very loud liar, and it's a lot easier to listen to him than it is to God. Because God says, be patient and trust me. God is about delayed gratification instead of instant gratification. So you're going to have to wait a little longer for God, right? And in the time of you waiting, Satan will try to get you to commit suicide. He will try to get you to settle, marry anything that comes, take any job that comes, hang out with any person that comes. You will be tempted to respond to all the stimuli that's coming from outside. That is obviously not of God. Just wait, and also trust God to protect you from that stimuli that's coming into your space, that's trying to force itself into your space. Just like with my cousin. That's the only reason I even considered it in the first place. I said I didn't want it, and I was forced. I already told you the story. I did the time. I already communicated the events encircling this particular situation. Sometimes so when they want to force you, that's when you must pray that God will make them do what my cousin did, just ghost you. They will be the ones to manifest demons so badly that they will treat you like trash. They will cut you off. They will rescind an offer that they initially gave you. They will just walk away, and you will be left on the phone on some hello, anybody there. That's your protection. When they force you, make them leave by fasting, praying. The Holy Spirit will ward them off. They like a fumigation. They will just go in. The ones being forceful, they will leave you, because the fire of the Holy Spirit, in his presence, they will not be able to chill. They will not be able to sit in it. Like with the case of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, the fire that keeps on getting increased is going to burn the soldiers of Nebuchadnezzar around to death, while Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in and of themselves are going to stay safe. So when you are forced, just pray and fast and watch the person that was trying to force an agenda just disappear. I hope you've been edified. I hope this has blessed you, and I hope you have realized that if at all you're evil, it's not going to do anything for you. All you do is make people write music about you. All you do is cause people to lament, moan, groan, ask God, am I a fool for worshiping you? Why have you left me? And the Lord ultimately comes forward and says, I have never left you, neither forsaken you. Come to me, all of you who labor and are heavily laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Go to God and nowhere else, but do not fear those who can kill the body and thereafter do nothing. Fear only God, who can also cast their souls into hell. Signing out.